Let's play in the junk journal. Hello and welcome to the treasured page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. I'm having a look at my junk journal that I've created for Junk Journal July. I have been playing around in here just using up my scraps, tidying up things as I go. It's been a very lovely way to relax, a nice mindful task. So if you have some crafting supplies that you don't know what to do with, maybe you've got odds and ends or bits and bobs, little pieces strewn around, just things that you're not sure about, colours that you don't normally work into projects, this has been really fun. So for Junk Journaling July this year, the theme has been to use pink. We've been making these covers on the treasured page for our June project, and our July project is to make an accordion style flip out sort of journal, and we're just looking for some inspiration to put on these panels. So I'm just playing around, testing out some ideas and following along with the monthly prompts. Now the prompts I've got here in this little pocket from Meg Journal's Party Pack in conjunction with getmessyart.com. You can go and download your copy for free from their website. And here we have Spark, Postcard and Fold. So I'm going to show you that. Now we saw this in the last video. So this was my very first page just to bring us up to speed. I'll show you what I've got so far. But today I'm going to show you what I'm working on. I'm going to be working on number 6, number 7, number 8. So that's Wildlife, Window, Observe. And I'm going to do number 9 because that's today's prompt, which is scraps. And I've got plenty of those. And then that will bring us up to the number 10 project thread, which I've already done, and that was this one. So this was for thread. So there we go. You can do whatever you choose. I'm using scraps and I'm just enjoying putting it down, whatever feels right. So this was prompt number 2. So that was spark. I did sparkle. I've put little sparkles on there and we've seen that one. This one is postcard, and I found a vintage postcard here and it's got an American stamp on it and it's from 1924, and I thought that was really lovely. I found this little die cut image here, so I've put that on there, and at the background I've got some washi tape, so it was all very straightforward. Got a label there from Clee Black Creations, and then this folds out. And then that was the back of this original postcard. So original ephemera there from the Farmers and Merchants State Bank. So I might put something in there. I might have to come back and put prompts in there. I've only put a few pages in. And I know that when people are first starting out in junk journaling, you're really keen to know how many pages get put in things. What have I got here? So I've got folds in here as well. So we'll count this one. So 1, 2, 3... 4, that's the official one, but there's lots in there. I've tipped things in. 4, 5, oh, that's where that went, and 6. So it's just six pieces of paper, which then obviously double up and create the folds. Now that was the back of that. And then there's nothing on there because I was going to, or I will do, put this one because I've linked the fabric in. So that's going to go there. So if I need additional space for my Junk Journaling July, I'm going to put that one in there as well. But this is just for me. This is my personal one, just playing around my ideas journal, or just having fun time, really. Now this could be, well, it's a fold out, but it could be sealed, and then that could be somewhere for a tag. That's a lovely book page, so that can go like that. This is number 3 and the prompt was fold, and there I've done a fold in some ribbon, sari silk ribbon, and I've secured it with little brads, and then I've papered over the back of that so that we don't see the metalwork there. And because it was fold, that's a fold, so that already answers the brief just like that. Then I liked the idea of a peacock's feather, the way that they all fold together. So I put the peacock there and it seemed to work with the colours, and it also had a pink strip. So I'm trying to bring pink in. I've got a bit of yellow going on there. I just liked the way that the stitching was on that scrap. And then this folds out. And I've got my butterflies there. I thought that looked really nice on the dictionary page, and if you see down here it says fold in the dictionary, and then number 3 stamped because it was day 3, I think. Oh, and then it folds out as well. So it all folds out for writing space, and more pictures and things on the back. This one was labels. So there's all the labels. This is number 4, and I've got some really nice vintage labels coming in here. This one in particular was around some original old lace, and when I wanted to use the lace to journal with, in fact I might put a piece up there, it was all attached with its original label, so I thought that that was really brilliant. And then I've just done different ways of attaching things. That one had a staple on it, you can't really see that, but yeah, all the labels are on there. Everything was a label, and a different way of attaching it with string and a paper fastener and a little paper clip up the top there, a bit of sewing. And this was sewing. This is a label off of a garment, and yes, I was pleased with that. They were all little scraps coming in. Then we've got number 5, that's lettering, so I put letters down the side there and cut into the page, chopped it down like stairs. So that looks really nice. And we don't always have to have a flush straight edge, definitely not. It's a junk journal, remember, so anything goes. You just work with the papers that you have. I've put lettering on here in a stencil, and then this brings me up to number 6, which is wildlife, so I'm going to put that there. And I've already put this this wild paper here. This is from a paper pack from Stamperia. You can see there, I think it's the Amazonian one. So I bought that for a project, and I've only used a page and then I've been hoarding it, so I need to be using up my things that I already have, not buying more. So here it is, Collectibles Amazonia, and that is really what I've got, but there was lots of little bits still to use, and then these fun foliage jungle plants, look, so I've cut some of that out. And I'm creating more fun scraps, but I just like this sentiment. It says, learn to stay calm. Not everything deserves a reaction. And I think that that's wonderful, because we promote here to slow down, make crafting time for you, but making any time for you is good. So it's always wonderful to come and sit and have a little journal session, and that's what the Junk Journal July is all about. It's trying to come daily, just spending 10-15 minutes, anything that you can spare, just even just thinking and planning. I'm just going to scuff up the edge like that. I'm just damaging the edge. Technique you can use, and if you bend the paper, don't worry, that's all fine. We might even, let's just do that, don't worry about it. It looks interesting when it is a bit battered, so we will do that. Now I'm putting on this dark brown espresso to the tattered edges. Just add in some detail on the creases. So there we go, that is that. I'm just working with some tissue paper here, and also some foliage. So I cut out some leaves and things like that. So I'm just going to see if I can make a little collage arrangement. So I'll just put down this tissue paper at the back here. Just sort of mutes down some of what we're seeing there, makes it a little bit more rustic. These are the ones that I've fussy cut out. I have put an inked edge around them. Let's put that large leaf up there to begin with, and these are also reversible as well, so they're the same when you cut them out of that paper pack. They're the same on the other side, so if it doesn't work one way, it might work the other, so that could work better, having that little leaf looping over the top, or maybe it's better this way. And also this was one image which I've cut apart like that. I think that was how it was. So it's a nice paper pack, but I just don't use it. So these things, because they cost a bit more money, I suppose I'm hoarding onto them and then they don't get used. So today's the day to start using these things. Okay, that was fun putting that together. I've also got this, I think it's a hibiscus flower, so I'm going to add that up the top there, like a frangipani flower, something like that. So I'm going to add that there, that's where I want it. And then I found this funny little caterpillar here, which I just felt like something needed to come and live in the space there. And it's a bit creepy, a bit crawly, but it does say in the quote here, learn to stay calm. Not everything deserves a reaction. So I think that we might be all right with a little caterpillar. I think we can all just not scream at that, not react. So that's one way of interpreting that quote, and I'm sure it works on many other levels as well, and I think that that's just a bit of fun. The next one is going to be a window, and I've got this rather alarming yellow coloured paper in here, so I've got to try and make that work. We're going to go with the next prompt, which is number 7, and that's window. Okay, so that's all right. I'm going to reach back into the paper pack, a different one, and try and have some continuity here with the paper. So I'm now using this one from Stamperia. I'm getting all my pads out, so I don't use them, they're just sitting here, but they're nice to have and they're absolutely beautiful. And I think why I don't use them, this one isn't so bad. No, this one is bad. I don't like it. I mean, I love it, I love them, they're all great, but when you cut something out, you've then, you know, you can't use that page, and that page is just as good as that page for different reasons. So they are, you know, double-sided, and I know I'm not alone here, but I do struggle because I would be sticking that down and then we wouldn't see that, so that bothers me. But I'm going to take this page, we're just going to have to do it, we're going to embrace it. If it was just something from the pound shop, then that would be okay, but these were considered purchases for a particular project. So I always feel a little bit loath to cut them up, which is ridiculous. For a junk journal, I feel loath to cut them up for a junk journal because I don't think these are junk. I think these are quite precious, but they're not really because they're cluttering up the craft room and I'm not using them. And I bought this several years ago now. So although it's still good, it's possibly something that I wouldn't use. We're making a window, so I've got the shape of a window, but I quite like to cut through. All right, so I've got my window frame. I'm really pleased that I managed to keep the lines and didn't cut into them. So I'm just going to take some washi tape. I'm just sticking that on the bottom there, overlapping it. I'm not sticking it down at the moment. I'm just turning this over. This is the other side, which is going to be quite fun. And I just want to line up my image. I want to make sure that I get the eyes in between this window pane, just so that we can see him. So he's going to come and live there. Now, with this washi tape, I'm just putting the page there, sticking that down. Should have the window stuck down. All right, it's a little bit off center, so I think that that's okay. We'll just slightly level it up and hope for the best with that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my awl and just as a marker, I'm putting little dots in the corner here and here, lining up my dots, taking my craft knife, and I'm just going to make a cut along that line there, and then I'm going to repeat the process all the way around, lining those 2 dots up and just cutting out this square. This will be the window panel. And now I can remove this piece here. That's quite a fun scrap, and that's the window. Okay, now I'm going to glue this down, but I'm not putting glue on my crisscross area because that will be visible, and I'm just pushing this into position. Just check on the other side. Okay, and I'm just going to take my ground espresso oxide and I'm just putting in distressed area here. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm now going to put in some text blocks up the top here, just with some vintage paper, just as a nice relaxing window spot for reading a book, like a book nook. And that's great, I like that. And then I can just build in whatever scraps and things that are floating around here, maybe a bit of lace to just to remind us of that novel. I think I'll have that sticker there with the foliage. I think that's quite fun. Okay, now I want to put some plastic in there. Just going to go a little wider than this marker piece, which was the piece that I cut out. Okay, remove that. All right, now I'm left with my little window, so I'm going to put some glue down here all the way around, and I'm also going to be putting glue on top of the window panel, so I've got to come up here just with a little bit of glue. I'm just using 3-in-1. Don't want it squelching out and causing a mess on the plastic or the acetate or whatever this is. Packaging. That's great. All right, so that's our window. I've got a bit of glue there. I'm just not going to fiddle with it. I'll leave it to dry, and then the beauty of the silicone glue is that you can roll it off at the end, so don't worry if you get it onto plastic. And then what I want to do is cover this page, but that'll be the next prompt, so we need to figure out what that is, which is observe. Okay, so we want to have observe there. I'm just adding a bird down here. What I want to do on this other side is the observe prompt, and I can see my big cat there, which is great. I'm not so keen on seeing the wording, so I'm now wondering whether I would put a little bit of lace across that window frame, in which case I won't need this, and then that might just mask out. I don't know what to do. Let's have a little think it through. So if I put that there, so if I put the lace there, that blocks out that lettering and just looks like a little curtain. So I might have that, and the prompt, so this is observe, and then the next one would be scraps. So I'm going to use scraps. I've got all my scraps in front of me here, but I've also got the scraps that came off of the cutout window, and I'm quite liking the idea that I piece them back together so that I can see them through, but on here, and use the scraps for that prompt. Alright, for this I'm taking a length of washi tape. I'm just sticking a bit here, pulling it back on itself, and then rolling that underneath so that I've created a sticky surface. Then I'm going to take my little shapes here. I'm going to line them up into the window frame, sticking them down onto the sticky washi tape, making sure that I leave a gap and making sure that I get them the right way up. Just put them there. Hopefully that's okay. And then just remembering where they will need to go. So this is just so that I can line them all up and get them onto this card in the right way. So when I turn it over, forget that the washi tape is there. Those are all lined up and I can't see any gaps through that window, so that is perfect. So now I want to get this card in position, and I'm going to just ink around the edge. So I'm sort of doing 3 prompts here at once because they are interconnected throughout this journal, and I think that's lovely because that plays in with the concept that I always say, that we're all connected, mainly through nature but all around the world as well, and I just love that. So I think this connectivity in this journal is intriguing to me. I really like that idea. I'm just inking around the edge with the oxide ink, the ground espresso, nice smoky brown colour. Okay, I've lined that up. I'm just putting this as a marker so I know where to put the card, and then I'm going to glue these pieces. Okay, I've glued all my pieces, and now I'm just going to put that down there. Just bring that in up to that line and then push that down. can see I've gone a bit wonky already. That's fine. And then I can peel this off here very carefully. Now I like that as a little piece. That looks quite cute. So we just make sure we get that lined up on there. Okay, I've got a scrap here which is folded in half, so I'm going to use this as a hinge piece. I'm holding this really carefully because it's exactly in the right place, and I'm just going to slot that on there. Alright, now I'm going to just sew that piece on there. Yeah, I'm just adding that lace curtain in there, and then that obscures the text here, so I just see the big cat, and then this way we just see the wintry scene, the autumn scene. Okay, I'm just putting a sentiment here and a little flower on the top there. We've got the bird. I found some washi tape and I'm calling that one done. Be open to whatever comes next, which is great. So that is 6 and 7 done today. And now we've got observe, which is number 8, and then we've got scraps here, which is half done there. So what I'm thinking for observe is I've got the Observer's Book of British Birds, so bird watching or bird spotting, and I thought that I'd have the title page with the Observer's Book in the heading there. So I'm going to take this page and just have it like this, and then that's where the window will go. And you know, we could bring in something like that to suggest the British birds. But what I wanted to do is I found this. These are designed to be bent in half and to protect coins for coin collection. I've got 2 of them and I want to stick them together because one side is a coated plastic side and the other side is more of a paper side that I might be able to put some stamping and staining on, so I'm going to have a go at that. And then what I want to do is have them down here like binoculars that you can go bird spotting with. So I'm putting some scrap circles that I've just punched out in there to protect the little plastic pieces. I think I'm just going to spray these with some Distress ink spray. I've got the ground espresso. I'm just going to do that to see if that will take the stain, and I might get a really cool effect actually. I'm just wondering whether I should press this or no. I think we'll leave it. I might just, if I dry them with a heat gun, I'm going to melt the plastic, so I'll remove that. That's worked quite nicely. I'll just put that off to one side and hope that I get that effect, because I love that. Let's repeat it. And then just, there's sort of a plastic resist. There's a slight coating on the paper which is not allowing it to soak in. It's just sitting there, which is interesting. So we'll see how that's going to develop. Okay, I'm just taking a little bit more of the edging off of this bird, and I'm just thinking he could come and live down the bottom. And I love the fact that he's in a green sort of pond, and it will look quite nice with the colours. So I think that's absolutely going to be brilliant. Let's just see if this can make a bit more sense. Yeah, I think so. I think that's great. So these have just come out of a nature book, nothing special, just a modern one, and I think this will be great. He'll just come and slot in down here. That's better, it's got birds on it. So this little label comes from Clee Black Creation. This comes from, I think, Monograph labels. So I'm going to slot that in behind the bird. So I have in my head that these are going to come and live down here, but actually can't see a great deal, and then you'd flip them up. But I haven't really left myself anywhere to flip, so unless I do that and flip out, but that doesn't work. So now I'm thinking maybe have them up the top there to flip up. I don't really know, but I'm going to glue them together and see what happens. It was a good idea. Okay, this is fantastic. I'm just adding my number 8 there. I'm going to call this done, and I'm going to clip on these, which have worked out brilliantly. I'll just put a little bit of ink around there, I think, and I will say that this is done. So this is Observer, and I'm just using one of these little library clips from Tim Holtz. Keep that all safe, a little bulldog clip just there. Oh, more gluey. There we go. That's quite cool. And then we can see the birds in there, and then that will all close, and we have the scraps peeping through. So that is 6, 7, 8, and that is number 9. I will do a bit more to that to make it a page, but that's essentially the idea. And then tomorrow we've got stamps, so we're going to be bringing in stamps, which I've already pieced together. So stamping on paper, making scraps and collaging with that. So that will be what's happening there. So we'll have a look at that next time. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you found fun and value there. A little bit of curiosity, fun to be had in your journals, and well worth playing around with your scraps and all the things that you may have. So I hope you've enjoyed that today, and do please like and subscribe if you'd like to watch any more of my videos. But thank you so much for joining me, and above everything else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.